it's Trevor, it's Avery, it's Pat, it's the citywide special. The Phillies start the second half on a roll, winning 3 of 4 against the Padres. Kyle Schwarber is homered in 4 straight games, and Bryce Harper is slated to start at first base any day now. Bad news comes today, however, as number 1 prospect Andrew Painter is likely to undergo Tommy John surgery, pushing back his Major League debut to the 2025 season. The James Harden saga continues, now seems likely to drag into the regular season. When might a deal be made? An interview with Joel Embiid has the fan base contemplating his future with the team as well. Are the Sixers headed for a mediocre season, or could Nick Nurse help preserve their hopes to contend? The Eagles have now signed all their 2023 draft picks after inking Kelee Ringo into a rookie deal. Training camp starts next week. The Flyers have finally bought out the contract of defenseman Tony DeAngelo. Italian flags fly at half-mast across the city. All that and more coming up right now. How's it going, fellas?
Pretty good. Can't complain. Had a phenomenal weekend. Went down to CR for a little bit. Didn't get a chance to bump into Jason Kelsey, but other than that, it was hot. It was sunny. It was beautiful. Made my way back to Wildwood on Sunday to catch my brother and his buddies cooking up some really good barbecue. Shout out Bates, Nice Rack Barbecue. Let's get a chance, always a good time to eat their food. But yeah, feeling pretty good right now.
Nice. Yeah, well, all I got to say, or not all I got to say, but one of the things I got to say is Happy National Hot Dog Day to those who celebrate.
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
To our listeners, by the time you're hearing this, I'll be wishing you a happy belated National Hot Dog Day. Hope you all enjoy some hot dogs. Did either of you have any dogs yet?
Today, no.
I had bacon. I had a form of ham, but not a hot dog.
I don't think that counts.
Yeah,
no.
I just had halal
No
car
dogs.
food today.
Yeah, that doesn't count either.
No, maybe tomorrow.
Did
I'll
you?
make up for it?
No, I did not.
Yeah, well,
but
fucking judgmental over here.
Yeah,
But
giving us the evil eye.
I'm about to go to 7-Eleven after we finish recording. Stop by and get myself a couple of dogs just to celebrate.
They're
you know
always
what I'm
on
saying?
that rack. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been getting back on the 7-Eleven hot dog train lately.
You might as well. You live so close to a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's nice. I think it's better than coming home late at night. It's a better option than coming home and like ordering something off Grubhub and spending like $30 on some bullshit when I could just spend like $5 on some bullshit at 7-Eleven.
Yo, do you still order from
It's called Three Countries Pizza now.
Yeah.
No, I haven't ordered from there in a long time because
Are
if
they
I want,
still around?
yeah, they're still kicking. But like, if I want to get some late night pizza or whatever, Avenue Steaks is a 24-hour operation now, and they're way better. That place is nice. I'll order from there anytime, but especially if it's fucking like 2 a.m. or some shit, and I want some pizza or a cheesesteak or something. That's my go-to.
Their
now.
onion rings are slamming too. Not only because they're not rings, they're like they chop up the onion and then deep fry them to like little nuggets. And they have like a little spicy sauce that you dip them in. Oh,
that's for real?
God. Oh, it's so good.
I'm getting big. I'm big on like broccoli bites now.
Love
I don't know,
broccoli.
I got hooked on them. I used to be a big, still am, but I used to always be like a mod stick guy. But now I've been, trying to do the healthier
Yeah, you
option.
get that fiber.
Yeah, I
dude.
get some veggies in me.
Broccoli
Get the
bites will
broccoli
give you that
bites.
fiber. They're so, and then if you get the real good broccoli bites place, they do not the chopped up broccoli with the cheddar cheese, then deep fried.
The whole spear.
They do the whole spear dipped in cheese, then deep fried. That shit is that. When you find a place that does that, never forget that place. That's a good one. You gotta lock that thing down. Mm-hmm.
Damn, that sounds all right. Yo, I guess speaking of fried food, what is the best fried chicken in Philadelphia, and why is it the Luke Oil on Delaware Avenue in Spring Garden?
It is great.
I stopped there on Saturday. Me and Trevor, Dean, some other folks were hanging out up in Fishtown. Decided to take the lengthy 5-mile walk home to South Philly. Stopped at Luke Oil. Got me a 3-piece mix with the biscuit. That biscuit with the honey. But no, seriously, man. Like,
It really is the best.
There's a place in the Northeast in Cheltenham. The name is escaping me, but that place is that'll blow your mind.
Really?
That's a good spot. There's also a place too from Northeast as well now that has a brick and mortar. It used to be like a side spot at a Sunoco station, a Sod Chicken. Now they got like a
I don't
whole...
know if I've ever heard of it. It's sod chicken.
Right off the boulevard.
Okay.
Cottman and the boulevard.
Is it like Syrian chicken?
I mean, it's chicken.
Like
It's regular
Bashir
chicken.
outside.
I don't really know, but that place is supposedly really good. Never had it, but I've always passed it. But this other place, damn, I can't remember the fucking name.
Yeah.
But
For a while there was that place Red Crest on Passion.
Oh.
Was that place any good? I heard very mixed things.
I got it once or twice. I thought it was pretty good.
their chicken fingers were good,
but they're
and, like,
not there
nuggets.
anymore. I think they moved
Yeah, some
somewhere.
convenience
Now
stores.
they're all
Yeah, now there's
bougie,
one of
though.
those. There's like been like 3 weird
where
convenience stores.
Doggy
open up.
Style used
yeah,
to be?
Doggy Style
Mhm.
used to be. There's a convenience store. Like those places are all fucking drug front.
Hannah
There's
and I
no way.
walked into that
There's
the
no
other
way
day.
some like just store selling like sticks of gum or whatever is going to survive paying the rent on fucking East Passion. Like,
It's not when there's
places
one
are
20 feet
definitely
away.
Yeah, especially with the
Propped up by
adjacency to the other
cocaine.
one.
Right.
That's
We
so,
walked into
yeah.
that one after we went to Triangle for a little bit. We were walking back home. We popped into that store for something, and like the guy's just sitting there behind the counter owning he owns it. And we're like, "Are you smoking?" He's like, "Yeah, well, no one really comes in here anyway, so like I can do whatever I want." We're like, "This is fucking wild right now."
Yeah, like the place on East Passion couldn't survive that rent selling, dog food and shit. So all the like everyone in that neighborhood has like a dog.
Right.
They had to move further down the street, but some fucking shitty convenience store is gonna survive there. Like, get the
We all
fuck out
went
of here.
chips, I guess, and shit.
We know
like
what's
that,
going. We
but
know what's going on.
makes no sense.
We all know what's going on.
But damn, yeah, it's wild.
Should we get into it?
Let's get
fucking,
to it.
Start with the Fightins, I guess.
yeah.
The most relevant team at the moment. 3 out of 4 against the Padres. Really good series. They had that, clunker to start. They did that for some reason. They just continued with the rotation as it was going before the break for some reason. So it was like, I forget who started that first game. It was one of the back end guys. And
I think Sanchez started it off.
yeah, it was clearly
That
just
would make sense.
Who
yeah.
does okay, but
Just-
he's not like,
yeah.
he's literally a 50-50 shot when he starts.
it was like weird because it felt like a kind of game where you're like, well, that one just kind of got mixed into the schedule, but it was like we had like 5 days off or whatever. It's
Yeah.
like, how did that happen? But win the next 3, against a team that got to the NLCS last year, playing against future Philly Juan Soto.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like we said last week, right? We were like, yeah, hopefully they win this series. Hopefully they take, I think I said 2 out of 3 in error listening back to it, but 3 out of 4 and push the Padres into irrelevancy. And that's essentially what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, the games were close, yes, but at the end of the day, the Padres end up, 8 games out in the wild card? Something
Yeah, we really
like
knocked
that.
them back.
We buried him pretty good that way.
And, I mean, if they continue to sink, then they're going to have to be sellers. And then we get Juan Soto and Phillies pinstripes, which would be cool. I mean, seeing him play left field was kind of an adventure. I don't know how much better he is at left than Schwarber, but he'd be an upgrade nonetheless and would really add to the offense. So I'm interested to see if that does materialize. I don't think it will. Might have just been something fun to talk about, but it'd be cool if it happened.
I feel like if you're going to have a powerhouse offense, you kind of just have to come to terms with the fact that your left fielder is probably going to suck defensively. Like,
Yeah.
there's just, if you have that many bats in the outfield, like one of them ain't going to be too good out there. It's just how it rolls. Fucking Greg Lazinski,
Pat Burrell,
going all the way
yeah.
back, Pat Burrell. That's just, there's a reason why you stick your worst fielder out there.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Schwarber last year and this year,
This year, big time. Except for,
except for last night.
Sands last night for sure. But, I mean, I think they had that was a good chunk of the team, after the All-Star break last year is when they really got shit together and started to come together as a team and play hard. And it was nice that they didn't just have like gimme wins where they won 1-0 or 2-0. They were down pretty much every single game in that series.
Yeah.
And they came back handedly every time. And it was good to see the team, you build better that way. So I feel confident. This series started off pretty good as well. This game right now, a little shaky, but it's a bullpen game. So, you're not going to win. I'll take 4 in a row. You lose one here and then you get back on the horse. But yeah, I feel good about the Phillies for sure. Still hate Derek Hall.
Yeah, your boy. No, we got to talk about your boy. It's been so bad.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Cost
I mean,
him
we
a
called
run
that
last
shit.
night 'cause
Called that right before they brought him back up. He had Cody Clement playing phenomenal baseball for a first baseman and what we needed him to do, hitting the ball well, had multiple home runs, great defensive first baseman, which we haven't really had, Hoskins is a good defensive first baseman here and there, but when it comes down crucial moments, you start sweating.
In the
a
World
little bit.
Series.
I don't know if I would say Hoskins is ever a good first
Compared
baseman.
to Hall, I'd say good. You know,
He's
you have
serviceable
you have
compared
good,
to
better,
Hall.
best. Right. Hall is ass. I mean, he couldn't even. You try to pick off a guy, and Hall starts sweating like a. So it's just terrible.
He just has been good at the plate. Seems like he's always just a little bit late on everything at the plate. One thing I'm irritated by the fact that Derek Hall has been so bad because I feel like he's just providing cover for Pat's insane take that tearing a ligament in your thumb is like not really a big deal.
It's not. Not for that. You're not a center in football snapping a ball every play. You're just standing there.
Still, though, man, I mean, you can't hit with a torn thumb ligament.
We know we can't hit.
We've been saying that we got to get Dean on for when there's a big injury. We might just have to get him on to settle this.
Yeah.
Have someone with a medical degree.
If you could take that, would you be better off? Could you survive and play first base if you just remove that ligament as a whole? Does that make the ligament that he tore?
Then you can't.
You wouldn't be able to use your
be
thumb.
able to move your thumb.
Was that in his glove?
Do you understand?
Do
you understand how important your thumb is?
Time out now.
Try to go a day. Just tape your thumb to your palm and
I'm not an MLB.
See how you can
my
get
point,
around.
Though, time out now. It was his throwing hand or catching hand?
I don't know.
I want to say it was his throwing.
Oh
hand.
my god, that's even more irrelevant. He's the first baseman. Who's he throwing to?
They have to throw.
He can't even catch. Doesn't matter. He won't be
second base sometimes.
He can't throw anyway because he can't catch shit. So it doesn't matter.
Either way, you need
the
the thumb on your on your throwing hand to swing a bat.
Anyway, I said this before. I don't like the guy. I think he's a terrible first baseman. He proved me right, which is great. You know, glad his thumb is feeling. This is him with a fixed thumb. So honestly, fuck that guy. I'd rather have Cody Clement back with two good thumbs, virgin tendon thumbs, never been hurt before. I'll take that. And he was having a good run. Now you put Hall in there, and first base is a fucking shit show right now.
It's been a black hole since he's been there.
Every other game you got Baum at first base. You got Hall at first base. You got the tease of Harper at first base. He won't even swing at a fucking pitch because he doesn't like the way the balls look when it comes to him. So, I don't want to see... That's going to fuck us up if we do make a playoff run. I mean, we're holding on to...
I can't imagine Derek Hall's going to be playing crucial innings in the playoffs.
And I can't see Baum doing that either. I'm not going to lie. He had a good run in the beginning, but then Cody Clement looked like he cemented his place as the guy to replace Derek Hall. And even last night's game when Baum went in, couldn't catch a pickoff pitch either.
Well, I think what's likely to happen, which I think the Phillies are saying is going to happen as soon as this weekend, is that Harper's going to play first. How effective he is, I don't know, but I would have to imagine he's going to be better and more competitive than your boy.
I think they have about 2 series to get their act together at first base.
Yeah, no, they have to figure it out before the trade deadline because if you don't, then you have to trade for a first baseman.
Right. Which, it's pathetic that we can't just be excited about bringing in a star like Soto when we're still just hung up on who's playing first base. We have all these guys in this rotational thing. You had the guy. You had someone hitting well, playing great defense, and that's about all you can ask. He's sitting at the bottom half of the lineup anyway, had multiple home runs. Derek Hall hadn't had a single home run even before he got hurt. Came back and hit, so apparently the thumb's feeling pretty good, I guess. But then hasn't done shit since that game, really.
Yeah, I mean, how galaxy brain would it be to trade for Soto and put him at first?
I think
I don't think that's what happens.
No, I think you bring...
Well, I think it's a moot point. This with the Andrew Painter news, I think that any kind of big star like that is kind of out of reach because I feel like any of those guys, a starting point probably would have been like they're going to want Andrew Painter.
For Soto, when he's essentially an expiring contract?
He's got one more arbitration here, which is a correction from last week. We were thinking he was going to be a free agent, but he's arbitration eligible for one more year. So you're getting at least 1.5 years.
So you got to give something.
We could trade arguably a future All-Star. Derek Hall actually has been phenomenal this year. You could just trade him in a package. Yeah. Honestly, he's got his thumbs ready to roll.
Don't try to put the toothpaste back in the tube.
He's starting to hit dingers now too with that new robotic thumb. Yeah, put him out there. On second thought.
Oh man.
They're just like their agents like on the phone trying to sell them, and it's like, what's this? There's this column here that just has like a 2. What is that? It's like, oh, that's for good thumbs. That's,
Yeah.
that's his good thumbs stat.
You could have been boosting up, Cody Clement's trade value, but instead now he's just back into oblivion. It's just stupid, I think. It was, honestly, I just find that whole debacle to be pointless, to be honest with you. His first base, the guy was doing well, hitting well, catching well. Hall wasn't like you lose. If Rhys Hoskins had that injury, came back, obviously he's better than Clement. But Clement was showing that he was outperforming Hall in every way that makes sense for a first baseman to play.
Yeah. I mean, I get why they made the move. They figured Hall has the potential to provide more power, but he hasn't. He's looked very overmatched. Bat looks kind of slow. He looks kind of clueless. And yeah, I mean...
Potential versus what you're actually seeing with your eyes.
Yeah, Clemens had kind of cooled off since the initial hot start, but yeah, at this point, I would much rather him at the plate in a crucial situation than...
Or at least just at first base in a crucial situation. That's what it comes down to. I don't mind if he's not hitting, but you can't be fucking up catching the ball at first base. That's come on now.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
Well, I don't want to belabor the Derek Hall conversation.
No, my bad. Fuck that guy. Anyway, we can move on.
He's been ass. But we got to talk about Johan Rojas, man.
Yeah.
Hell of a start.
Yeah.
Welcome to the MLB, baby.
Debut in that doubleheader.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that catch and throw.
Oh, my God.
That was the first batter of the game, right? Or the second batter of the game?
There's a guy on first.
Right, yeah. Yeah, but his first big league inning.
Yeah.
He makes that crazy
A
running
double
catch
play.
at the wall, bangs into the wall.
A center field double play?
Yeah, that's wild. In an 8-3 double play.
Right.
That was crazy, man. And then in that one game, I guess it was the game the following night, he had 3 hits. Granted, 2 of them were some bunts. But a hit's a hit. And yeah, it's exciting to have when you had Martian left and him in center.
Speed, baby.
That's a great defensive alignment right there.
Yeah, late in the game, and you can put some defensive replacements out there. I mean, he seems like he'll be looks right now to be a pretty solid 4th outfielder.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if he ever becomes a starter. He kind of reminds me of Roman Quinn.
Yeah. I mean, if you could be a Roman Quinn that isn't injured constantly, I'll take that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not like he was a bad player. He just couldn't, his fucking legs were made of glass.
Right.
Yeah, he had some purpose whenever he was healthy, but he was just never healthy. So yeah, I mean, if he's your 4th outfielder, your defensive replacement, you have Martian left, him in center. Yeah, that's great, those late innings.
He's got almost a McCutcheon type of feel to him then, with the speed and the bat too. I mean, he's got a good eye for the ball. He's not swinging at nothing, He's putting the ball in play, which is good to see.
Yeah, he doesn't have Kutch's power, but yeah.
Not yet,
I get your point, yeah.
That's potential. I'll take that. We don't, But yeah, all good things. I think the Phillies are in a good spot. I think, they're holding on right now. They're at the top spot of wild card. NL's pretty close, But
the wild cards. Oh, what is that? Oh no, that's just a flyout.
That's it right there.
Yeah, the wild card's been pretty tight. Phillies past the Marlins. I think the Marlins were losing tonight too, last I saw. So if we can win again, come back and win this game, we put some more distance between us and them. And yeah, kind of put ourselves in the driver's seat a little bit in this wild card race with the trade deadline coming up.
Definitely.
Would be nice. Philly's schedule, I think, forget if we talked about this last week. I had it in my notes, but I don't know if we got to it. But schedule's easy. In August, they barely have to go on the road. They don't have to go outside the Eastern time zone until September 5th.
Which helps everybody except JT. JT has not been playing well. For some reason at Citizens Bank. I don't know what it is. He hasn't been... His bat has just been dead.
He doesn't like us.
No, I don't know what it is.
He heard me talking shit on an episode earlier this season. He's like, yeah, I'm not performing at home.
Still
for these
thinking
guys.
about it. It's in his head.
He needs Trey Turner's mom to give him a call.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. But yeah, all good things for the Phils.
Yeah, schedule gets tough, right? We were saying they go, they play Milwaukee, who is first place in the NL Central. The Phillies then go to Cleveland, which Cleveland's a few games under 500. But
can't overlook that, though. Just where you're at, you figure if you lose this game right here tonight, they could come back. But let's just say they lose it, then they, maybe pull a series off, whatever. But after...
the real thing you got to worry about there is if some of the Phillies might start looking at some real estate out there and they decide that they want to move.
Maybe they heard me talking.
Yeah,
they heard me chirping.
Like, there's some cheap houses out here.
Yeah, man. A 4-bedroom, 2 garage, driveway for $220,000, man, that house would be $700,000 in Philly. Don't tell me about Cleveland. I'm about to move to Cleveland. I'll see y'all on Zoom the next pod we need to record. But nah, yeah, as far as like Cleveland goes, not a team to overlook.
No, but then because after that you got Baltimore, and like you need to be on your P's and Q's when you get Baltimore.
That's a good team this year,
big time.
So yeah, schedule gets a little tough. This immediate feature, but then after that, like we said,
you're cruising.
Yeah, so good chance to tread water against these next few series, but then after that, a good chance to really create some separation between the Phillies and the Marlins, who I always felt like the Marlins were eventually going to fall off a little bit.
Yeah, they're the Marlins. Messi's in Miami. You can't have more than one good thing going on down there.
His debut was Friday? Saturday? His debut? The 21st?
Messi? Yeah, I don't know. Did you see the shit where he was like just at a supermarket and it took forever for people to recognize him?
No.
Which is like crazy because like if he was doing that anywhere in Europe, he would have been mobbed instantly. Yeah. But he was just like walking around with his family in like a Publix or whatever for like a while, and then finally a couple of people recognized who he was, and then he was like, "All right, I'm gonna go get the car." He was like, locked out.
So he made left on that red light, and he got pulled over.
That's a great move for a guy like that. Move to America, where people generally don't care as much about soccer. You kind of fly under the radar.
Yeah, I bet that's what Chase Utley's experience was like when he moved to London.
Yeah,
big time.
Yeah, did you see when they had him in the booth for the Phillies game? He was the man, dude.
Oh yeah.
He's
they had
still
him and
the
Schmidt
man.
up in there.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he was like Philly. Like if you're an MLB player right now, there's no other city you would want to play in than Philadelphia right now. The team's built great. The city is, in the playoffs, bar none.
Yeah, Chase Utley's still the man.
Still was in great shape, too.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks good with the silver fox look, the gray hair, but still looks like he takes care of his body.
Big time.
Could probably still hit 300. Nah, he couldn't still hit 300.
He could probably hit 2.
He could probably still hit a couple dingers.
Yeah.
Shit, maybe we bring him back to play first.
I would honestly move Stott to first. He could go.
Put Chase at second.
Yeah. But no, it's good seeing him back in Philly. He always looks good, and the booth always has a good time when he's in there. But yeah.
Is there anything else on the Phils?
Well, except for
I guess we need to talk about Painter a little bit.
Painter going down was a big. We last podcast we talked about maybe silver lining. He doesn't need to do it. He could just kind of like rehab a little bit, get a minor surgery. But this was a big. This is ass. This fucking sucks. You figured, okay, we lose Nola after this season. Painter can move up potentially. Mm-hmm. This honestly now puts more pressure on us to either try to counteroffer people that are coming after Nola or get another pitcher because you can't lose Nola and Painter in the same offseason, which is essentially what's going to happen.
Yeah. You've already lost Painter for all of next season, right? He's not back till 2025.
Yep.
Even when he does come back, I feel like they're going to take it slow. He's still going to be, 22? He said 22. He's still going to be pretty young, so they're going to work him back easy. We may not really see him in full force until 2026, which, are we even going to be alive in 2026? Who the hell knows?
If it keeps getting this hot, probably not.
Yeah, we'll be living in, I was going to say we'll be living in Greenland, but Greenland's going to be melted.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? We'll be at the bottom of the sea with the submersible assholes.
Yeah.
But, it sucks to see that happen with Painter. Like, number one prospect. Phillies have some other pretty good pitching prospects. Griff McGarry, but Painter was the guy, right?
Yeah.
We've been hearing about it for years now,
Throw 100 as a starter. Yep. And he had a few appearances in spring training and looked awesome. So, I was very excited to see him be part of the rotation, but not meant to be.
Yeah, and then the other thing that...
thought he was going to be the Rookie of the Year.
Hey, man, like we were saying before the pod, you got to try to roll that bet over the 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta send a strongly worded email to FanDuel demanding them to void my
Let us
wager.
know how that goes.
Yeah.
But
it's not fair.
But, I guess the other thing, too, right, is because... they can't trade Painter and they can't really rely on him. Does that affect how willing they are to trade McAble or Griff McGarry at this year's deadline, or hell, even next year's deadline? It probably does.
I would think it.
Yeah, I would think you're definitely much less willing to trade McAble now because as of now, he pretty much slots in as your number one pitching prospect. Because, I mean, you don't know what's going to... I mean, these days, like, people come back from Tommy John's and they're usually, like, okay. Sometimes they're even better when they come back from Tommy John's. But, like, it's still kind of an unknown anytime a guy has a long-term injury like that. So, you get rid... If you're going to ship off Abel, all of a sudden you really have, like, no one in the pitching pipeline.
Yeah, I think kind of affects their ability to make moves at this deadline. Probably more significantly than I think I realized at first, but thinking about it now.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like if they make a move, it's probably be something a little minor.
Yeah. Which
is fine. I mean, for their playoff rotation is still, like, fine. You still got Nola, Wheeler, Ranger.
Even Taiwan Walker.
And down, yeah, so, like, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it sucks, but...
Building blocks, though, it sucks.
It's just annoying as a fan because, like, you're so excited to watch this guy now, so you got to wait a whole nother fucking year.
Yeah. Year and a half,
basically,
Looks like Milwaukee scored again.
It's 5-3. It's not looking too hot. 1 out, man on second.
We'll come back and get them tomorrow.
Yeah, whatever. So the Sixers... Ugh. They're still sixering.
So fucking
they're still doing their thing.
Time,
yeah,
dude.
It's like watching the fucking endless wheel on your back just spin and spin. Nothing ever loads. It's just sitting there like, all right, great. I mean, really nothing new to what, the Harden thing.
You see Harden removed Sixer player for the 76ers from, like, his social media.
Oh, no, I did not.
Yeah, so it's
real
now. It's real now.
Yeah, the pettiness is really going.
Yeah, I mean, I remember last week, like, up until last week, my attitude was like, well, he might want out, but if they don't have a deal, he'll probably still come back and play because he wants to get a good deal next offseason. But yeah, I think maybe I was wrong about that. I don't think he gives a fuck. I think he's gonna. I don't know. I mean, do you think he's just going to sit out entirely, or is he going to do his, like, fat suit shit?
I read a report today that said, I think it was from Kyle Neubeck again. I think it said something to the effect of Harden's camp right now is saying he'll report to training camp, but that's probably because they know that he'll be able to make more of a scene and make more noise at camp than if he's just sitting at home.
You can play with his cell phone in his pocket,
or
like Ben Simmons.
Or pull a Jimmy Butler. Although Harden doesn't, I don't think he's that kind of guy.
He doesn't have the juice for that
to, like, come in and say to the third stringers, "All right, let's run this shit the way Jimmy did." But he's going to show up to training camp and make some sort of scene if he's still here, which is what I was afraid of.
I mean, to your point last week, Avery, the NBA is the most dramatic league out there, and I think that it's so hard to tell what this means. I feel like we're reading too much into a social media thing because it could just be him just trying to just stir the pot with shit. He might know that honestly, they all might know that he's going to come back and potentially play with the Sixers. He's just doing some fuck around shit because he's bored, to watch everybody else get all crazy about it and whatnot. But, like, I don't know. I'm kind of over. I can't give this any more energy than I've already given it. Like, I've given up my point. I'm like, you either come back or you don't. Don't do all the petty shit, whatever. Like, just sack up and say you're not coming. Don't show up to camp fat as shit. You're a little chunky Harden again, doesn't want to play, whatever. Don't do a Ben Simmons shit. Like, you're a grown-ass man. What are we doing here? You just had that whole party where we talked about last week, shooting the shit with the owners of the Sixers, with other players, like, having a good time. But then you're going to do this shit? It just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand what the end goal is here.
Yeah, I mean, the end goal is he wants to get traded.
Which he's done the last 3 years, though. Like, it's not like you're doing anything original. You've been doing this literally every year for the last 3-4 years. So, like, get over yourself.
Yeah, like I said before, the common denominator in all these trades at this point is him. And I think a lot of it is just... he's projecting onto the Sixers because no other team wants him. He sacrificed money over the course of the last few seasons to try to get to this point, and it's all kind of backfired. He should really project onto his agent. His agent's fucking this up really badly.
Big time.
Like, he hires this agent, the agent's just left and right just dropping the ball.
It's like a midlife crisis.
I mean, it seems like what people keep saying is that his relationship with Daryl Morey is like completely fucked and whatever. But it's like, of all the people, like, how are you that mad at Daryl Morey? Like, because he's just one of 30 GMs that didn't want to offer you a max.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I just don't really get it.
Yeah, maybe like there was some sort of handshake deal last year where the Sixers said, okay, we're going to give you a lower value contract so that we can sign PJ Tucker and Dan House, and then we'll pay it forward the following offseason.
Yeah,
maybe that's why he's upset. But I mean, the Sixers got investigated for tampering, and they got fined 2 second-round picks. I don't think anything else is going to come out of that. That was what it was, and that's it. Like, it's not like the Sixers said to Harden, or the league didn't prove that the Sixers said to Harden, we're going to sign these guys this year and then pay you next year. The league probably would have called that out when they did the investigation. So, who knows, man? Like, the whole Harden shit is just, it's a never-ending story. What do you guys make of these Embiid comments?
I think it's a refreshing sense of honesty, to be real with you. I think that, what we expect Embiid to be like, he's had literally peaking in his career right now. Maybe he has 1 or 2 more years left at this ability. He's seen how the team has unfolded, and he knows where his team has gotten to him with him. I think it makes sense. Yeah, of course you can't win the chip with only 3 good players, as we've seen other teams build super teams. The Clippers can't do shit because they can't stay healthy. 1 guy goes down, you only got 2 now. There's no more big 3. It does take more of a team effort that way. And I think Embiid, being who he is, he's not Shaq. He's not going to do crazy things for multiple years and bring the team on his back and win a championship because he can't stay healthy. So I think that's him looking inward, being naturally frustrated with what his career has transpired to in terms of a championship run. Yeah, he made MVP. That's great. We all loved that. We were excited about that. But I think that, be real then. I'm okay with that. He wants to win a chip, whether it's here or somewhere else. He didn't say, I can't do it here. He's just being honest. Yeah, I would love to win one here, but if at the end of the day, it's my career, he doesn't owe us anything. He gave us an MVP. We all would wish the Embiid era could have went a different way. But my opinion is that, it makes sense. Sure, you're getting up in age. There's no way you last 5 more years at this rate. We got 1 more year this year, maybe in next. Other than that, I get it. It's an honest statement, and I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really change the way I felt about things like a week ago. Because, I mean, this whole time, my thinking has been, they need to try to make a push this year. And if not, then I wouldn't be surprised if he asks out. And now this kind of just confirms that. And, that being said, it's starting to look more and more like this is going to be maybe a down year. And Morey's job over this season is just going to be to try to convince Embiid that after this season, we're going to have a lot more cap space to play with, and there'll be people available, and we'll be able to really put this thing together, so you should still stick around. But, I mean, I don't see how people are going to be that. I mean, people have been, for the past few years, have been up Damian Lillard's ass about being, like, too loyal, and, like, why then, like, being like, this guy doesn't want to win, he's just comfortable in Portland, and blah, 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 and then when Embiid, like, says, like, he'd be willing to go somewhere else, everyone turns on him. It's just like, I don't know. It's like, I don't really make a whole lot of this. It's just people nitpicking quotes and trying to make a big story out of it. I don't know. I mean, it was funny how, like, he kind of walked it back on Twitter afterwards, being like, you guys see my middle name, like, I'm trolling, which is like, I don't know. It was, like, funny, but also, like, come on, man. Yeah. Like, come on.
Yeah, that was my reaction to that exactly.
Like, just own up to the shit that you said. It's fine. I get that, like, a bunch of people are pissed at him for maybe not great reasons, but you still got to kind of own up to what you said. You said it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, if you really wanted to follow up on it, all you needed to say was, like, obviously I want to win with the Sixers, blah, 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 but more like my number one goal is to win a championship, period. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not an unreasonable thing to say.
Yeah, he definitely churched it up on Twitter. I thought that was amusing, but at the same time, to Pat's point, it's fine if you feel like, I want to win a championship, and if that has to be somewhere else, so be it. why are you going to say, oh, I was just trolling?
Yeah. I mean,
no, man, just own your shit.
Yeah, it's just like
anyone would be frustrated at this point. The things he's dealt with in his career.
Yeah, look at all like the superstars in this league. How many times? Look at how many times fucking Kevin Durant's moved.
Right.
Like, I mean, yeah, it's not. It's just that's just the way the league is. You know, you can't be that fucking mad. I mean, like the few players that have stuck around with their teams have done so because they've been able to win. Like Steph Curry's still in the Warriors because he's won like like 4 or whatever titles. Sixers haven't won a fucking title yet, and it's a very dysfunctional organization. So, yeah, I can't like. You can definitely point to some reason why, like, part of why they come up short is sort of Embiid's fault. Like, he fucking sucked in Game 6 against the Celtics, Game 7 against the Celtics. You can't discount that, but also, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, we're the same people that were floating the idea of trading his ass after the season, which is okay because we understand that, honestly, that was probably the most value we would get for him would be after the season as MVP. You know, if someone wants to make a move, of course, for a rebuild. But the same people that are mad at Embiid for saying that shit are the same people that were like, get him off the team because he never stays healthy during the playoffs. So, like, it's okay. He's a normal human being. It's all right. Go for it. I don't think he's at the level of KD where, like, he's going to island hop that way. I think he's just
he wants to win.
I think he's a young man torn between being loyal to the team that gave him a chance and doing his ultimate goal, which is winning a championship. And, like, that can't be easy to go in the throes of where you win the MVP, you're on top as an individual, but you still haven't helped your team get to that next level. At the same time, individually, you want to win a chip, because that's the end goal for anybody, any athlete, whether it's a World Series or a Super Bowl or NBA championship, whatever it is, So he's just going through it right now, which is okay. But I think that, he clears his head, gives us his all this year, and whatever happens after the season, we'll see what happens. Love him to death. I mean, it's a business decision, that's all.
Sorry,
Yeah, I just saw that. I just winced while Pat was talking.
Runners in the corners.
They gotta stop stealing like that.
Throwing out a stealing second base.
You gotta stop stealing like that. JT taught us anything is you don't steal
Yeah,
when it's bottom of the fucking ninth.
I don't hate it. You put the tying run in scoring position. Whatever, fuck it.
Doesn't matter. You got to go.
We don't have to talk about this game. Everyone's gonna know what happened.
Bullshit. I'm telling you, this is a stupid bonehead move right here. Unless he's safe.
That hand's in.
But yeah, Embiid's human. I respect it.
Yeah.
Only he can get away with that shit, honestly.
Yeah, what I will say is, like, I think that quote taken out of context is a lot worse than when you get the full context. Because you can make the case if you read more of this interview and listen to more of the interview that he's really just saying, like, to the organization, yeah, I want to win and I would like for it to be here, but at the same time, this is me putting pressure on y'all to do something about it.
Right.
Because later on in this interview, which was crazy to me, this interview happened last week, but no one found out about it till Monday, which the way social media is, especially NBA Twitter.
Very odd.
I feel like anytime an interview like this happens, people know within minutes.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that this was kept under wraps for as long as it was. But then he had this quote as a part of this interview a few minutes later where he's talking about, more of why he feels this way and what this team can do to help. Says, basketball is more than what happens on the floor. At times, you got to set the tone. If you just lost in a game in the playoffs, you try to send a message, not just to the opposition, but also to your teammates. You can use the media and what you say to push that. I have a lot of examples. My guy Tyrese, I'm always saying a bunch of stuff. At the end of the day, they understand it's all because we want to win. So ultimately what he's saying there is, I said all this shit that I want to win, and I don't care if it's in Philly or elsewhere. I just want to win to really push the front office.
Right. To make a move.
To take initiative, to be responsible and really do something about the Harden situation and or whatever else you need to do to build a winner around him.
Plus, I feel like to that point, which is great that you opened it up that way because, you take it as a bit. People that are diehard Sixers fans understand his frustration and respect it. It's all the other fringe fans that hear that they're like, "Oh, he doesn't want to play in Philly anymore." Like that's not, they needed to read the whole article and see what he was really saying. Where we understand, like, yeah, we're all mad. No one was happy with how it ended, and we could chalk it up to Embiid being perennially injured in the playoffs, or Harden being old and not playing well in every game, all that stuff. But I think that this offseason for sure, has been one of the more frustrating off seasons in the sense that we haven't really brought in any sexy free agent. Like,
we brought
Pat
back
Beverly,
B-Ball Paul,
but Pat Bev, great. Mo Bamba, great, but they're not necessarily championship caliber players.
It's not like the Warriors bringing in Chris
Harden,
Paul to come off the
right?
bench.
And it's like it constantly feels like the meme where you're just poking a rock with a stick, where it's like, do something. And Daryl Morey seems as though if he doesn't get the golden egg for Harden, he'll just drag this shit out as long as it takes to save up for next year. Will be his big move to do things. At the same time, though, the current roster will be. There's a sense of frustration. You got a new head coach, which it's exciting, and they've been saying things that they haven't seen. Where they played with Doc, and Doc's like, I don't even know who you are. Like, I'll put you in there whenever. Like Daniel House, whatever. We didn't know who that guy was. He said people knew him, but until he played, Doc would never have played him until someone got hurt. Then he went in and actually had a great game. But I think that there's just a sense of frustration from top to bottom in the organization, and they need to get it together quickly. Because once the players start saying that they're feeling it, that's not a great locker room to have. And then you got a new head coach coming in on top of that to try to solve all that issues.
Yeah.
It could get ugly really fast this year.
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge for Nick Nurse to navigate if it gets to that point.
Right. You're trying to keep that group, try to be the cohesiveness of that group. And he's not only has to win the respect of his new team, but also win their loyalty to be able to stay for maybe next year, which is going to be the biggest hiccup, because the chances of them going to the Eastern Conference Finals goes down significantly without Harden. Even with Harden, it's not good based off of our historical value as a Sixers playoff team.
The way Harden is when he's discontent.
Right, so it's just, I don't care if he's boys with, he knows him and his mom are great, him and Pat Bev, or he's building up Embiid or whatever, trading Maxey. Like, you either got to let Harden show up fat as fuck and be mad and trust Maxey with the ball now, pass that torch off officially, or we're going to have a very bumpy ride.
Yeah, I mean, Morey's got his work cut out for him. I guess the other thing that I have in my notes is Daryl Morey went on 97.5 The Fanatic. Was that yesterday?
He sounded drunk. Yeah, it was Tuesday, yeah.
Maybe he was day drinking on a Tuesday morning.
Having them lunch beers, baby.
Yeah, he knows.
But yeah, so what did Morey have to say? Let me look in my notes. He said he didn't really say anything we didn't know about the Harden trade from the Sixers' perspective, right? Like he said, yeah, we want to trade him for a star or for assets that will help us get a star. Anything less than that, we're not going to do it, which was the Ben Simmons saga all over again.
Yep.
So, yeah, he didn't really say anything noteworthy there. I guess the one thing that he said, there were two things he said that were interesting, was he cited Tyrese Maxey's potential improvement as a reason for them to hold off on making the trade, because they feel if Maxey can really improve and continue to show growth, that they feel that they need less of another star, and that Maxey can become that. But then he said a couple other things I thought were interesting. He cited the new CBA, the collective bargaining agreement. It started this year, but it really kicks in next year when other teams won't really have the ability to bring in another star. Harden opting into this 1 year, whether he plays or not. If he does play and he's off our books after this year, then we have more space, cap space and free agency for next year. He doesn't play, then we can really set ourselves up nicely for free agency next year. I don't know what the hell the free agency landscape looks like. I think it's pretty ass, but Morey's thinking ahead. Who knows? By the
sounds of it, he's making it sound like it's bigger than this year.
I don't think it is. But guys ask out all the time. Guys get traded all the time. Maybe that's what he's holding on to. And then the last thing he said, so I think they asked him at one point the player that they would ideally like to get in the Harden trade. And he said they would want a wing that can play on ball or off ball, play some defense, knock down threes, can work with Joel while Joel's free throw line, elbow. I'm just thinking that sounds like Paul George.
Mm-hmm.
But the Clippers aren't going to give us Paul George. It also sounds like Jimmy Butler, but that ain't happening either. So
Next year's free agent class has got some interesting... Well, it's got some big names, but some risky names.
Isn't Klay Thompson up next year?
He's old. He's going to be like 35. Who's next year?
Well, ADs that we're certainly not interested in, but...
hey, man, 2 bigs are coming back.
Kawhi. Now we got 8 bigs.
Kawhi's old. He's old and always hurt, too, at this point.
Pascal Siakam.
I would take him.
He'd be a good Toby.
A guy named Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah.
Fucking Paul George. LeBron James.
Damn, what if we could draft... We can't draft.
The conspiracy. Yeah,
Bronny should
sell out to draft Bronny.
I don't see Bronny being a first round pick.
I don't even think
fucking
we have
Drew,
a first round pick.
Drew Holiday.
He's my age. He's gonna be old next year.
OG Anunoby.
DeMar. He's old.
No,
none of these guys do it.
Klay Thompson is Emmanuel.
Morey's smoking dope, man. I don't know what he's up to.
He's like shooting. We don't need another shooting guard. A fellow by the name of Tobias Harris will be a free agent after
Give him a max. Give him a max.
Oh my god.
Josh Hart. I'll take a little bit of Josh Hart. But,
for
I think the Knicks might.
That's the first young name you said.
Might extend him. Contagious Caldwell Pope.
He's not that good.
Bruce Brown.
Oh, Bruce Brown, NBA Finals hero. I would take him.
Jaden McDaniels.
Might as well bring the other one in here. Might be better than the first one was.
Miles Bridges. Don't think I need that here.
Yeah, we don't want a wife beater.
Buddy Hield. I'll take a Buddy Hield.
Nothing really, though, sounds very sexy, to be honest.
I mean, these guys are all like old, but it's like, that's what you don't become a free agent until you get kind of old, you know?
Yeah, well, anyway, I think that it's still just a game of chess.
Yeah.
We're all just watching this shit pan out.
Well,
he balled out in the playoffs.
While every other team's on vacation, fans are getting to enjoy their NBA all season. We're sitting here worrying about this nonsense, man. The Sixers are just endlessly dramatic.
Yeah.
Have been for 10 years since the process started.
I mean, it's like you can't we've just been so spoiled by the fact that the Eagles have been such a well-run organization that it's kind of got to be counterbalanced by the Sixers being a complete shit show.
I'm also not gonna lie, when your shtick is called the process,
we never have to worry about the. I just feel like we never have to for the past couple of years just don't have to worry about what the Eagles are doing. Yeah, it's just like they got it under control. You know,
it's like a cautious optimistic where like the Sixers are like when you got AI, the answer. What if great? Cool, we got the guy. When your head guy's now just the process, it makes it seem like it's still not complete. Which I'm not gonna lie, his whole era, this Embiid era, will be. If he never wins the championship, cool, he got the MVP. But if he never wins the championship, it will be a very, perfect name to be just called. You're constantly processing. You're never actually doing anything.
I mean, some of it isn't really his fault, certainly.
Is and isn't, though.
But it is. Like Markelle Fultz forgetting how to shoot isn't his fault.
Listen, we can nitpick here and there.
Ben Simmons sucking isn't his fault.
The only playoff run that wasn't his fault, or at least you can't equate it to an Embiid thing, is the double doink against Toronto that it went in. Had that ball not gone in, who knows what would have happened with that team?
I think we probably would have won the final.
Yeah, TJ McConnell was on Mark Zumoff pod today saying they would have won.
That shit went in, and we're still just
the
processing.
The Bucks were very beatable that year, and then it was the banged up Warriors,
right?
Yeah, we would have smoked.
You get rid of Butler, and we're just processing, but there's never any finish. Nothing.
Yeah.
You can't get even out of the fucking second round. So the Embiid era will be a wash. Yeah, we had a great run. Loved Embiid. It was phenomenal. But if he doesn't win a chip or at least get to any kind of Eastern Conference final, the finals, it will just be a subpar.
Yeah.
I mean, at least AI got to the finals the one year.
Because he was the answer. He was the problem. That's what we needed.
Yeah.
Now we just have a problem. That's all I'm saying. The nickname isn't really cohesive with what you want to do with the end goal.
Yeah, we need the results now.
We'll be talking about some AI next week. We'll teaser for next week.
I think I'm done with the Sixers. I'm starting to get a little sweaty.
We need to move on. I'm not here to relitigate the process. Move on to the Birds. We don't really have much flyers other than bye-bye Tony DeAngelo.
Tony DeAngelo got bought out. Trade Never happened. I think it was like something where they had like a certain window to do a buyout. They didn't want to risk waiting too long, and then that falls through, and they can't get a trade done. They're stuck with him, so they just bought him out. That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah. We're going to end up retaining some of that, or most of that salary, right? At least 50%.
Yeah, I think the way it works is you have to retain half of it for twice the length of the remaining. So like,
which they were going to end up retaining half of it in a trade anyway.
Yeah, so we'll have to be paying like half this year, half next year, which whatever, that's fine. Rebuilding team, don't care.
Yeah, and bye-bye racist.
Yeah. Yeah, now there's one less guy out there to defend the Columbus statue. So the Gravy Seals have their work cut out for him.
Yeah, that would have been fitting if he went to the Columbus Blue Jackets, though.
Yeah.
Damn.
Birds.
Yeah, we got some birds.
A little bit of bird stuff. Training camp coming around the corner. It starts Tuesday, I believe.
Yeah, 24th. I mean, big expectations, I think. We went through the season schedule a couple weeks ago.
We haven't talked birds in a minute.
It hasn't been much
Not
to talk about.
at length, anyway.
No, nothing really has happened. We did here and there before the draft. I think that we're just kind of waiting for it to pop off because that'll be a big, topic of conversation once it does get rolling. Expectations of the season. Will they be the same? What is the, what is the outlook of the whole NFC East and things like that? But I feel pretty confident with the Birds. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I look back on still that Carson Wentz trade. We got A.J. Brown, Jalen Carter, and what's it called? Who we get? Jordan Davis with that.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. 3
of those guys with one fucking... All we had to do was pay for his contract for 1 year. That's not bad at all.
Yeah. And we got him off our books. He's still a free agent yet, right? No team's picked his ass up.
No, he's going to be playing for the...
He's going to be playing for the Canadian
CFL,
football.
Yeah.
The fucking Ottawa Commanders
the XFL
or whatever.
Or some shit, yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yo, imagine we see Wentz in the it's not the Arena Football League, it is the XFL.
Yeah,
we'll see Wentz in the XFL
or the
next
USFL,
year.
the other. Maybe what if he starts playing for the Philadelphia Stars?
It all comes full circle. Could you imagine? I'd go to one of their games and boo his ass.
Hell yeah.
Well, you can't because they're not even going to play here.
What?
That team, that league plays all their games in like somewhere in like fucking Georgia or
How are they going to be the Philadelphia Stars?
Because it's a fake league, that's why.
Well, they'll fly on there, we'll boom, and
I got some friends in Georgia.
They do have a funny looking mascot though.
Is that red thing?
The red thing, yeah.
Also, how fucked
like
up
Grimace.
is that? You make your Philadelphia team a star. Like they don't even know us.
Yeah, that's an insult. Make the Dallas team the stars. Make us some other kind of predatory or bird, man. Make us the
cassowaries.
Oh,
those guys? Those are dangerous.
They're mean as hell.
They're the meanest. Yeah, they're like one of the most dangerous animals in the world.
They look pretty, though.
Yeah. But they got like their claws are like fucking 5-inch daggers.
Ugh.
They'll fuck your ass up real good.
Ugh.
Well, anyway, Birds, I think we got some time to talk about them, but I think on football notes, so Dak Prescott saying he's going to
we got to talk about the rest of the NFC.
Yeah, the NFC East is like a fucking shit show right now, dude.
Yeah.
He's going to throw 10, under 10
He's saying he's going to throw under 10 picks. Miss me with that, bro.
My ass, fuck that.
He'll throw 10 picks in the first 10 games.
If he didn't look as bad as he did last year, I'd be like, all right, I get that. But he looked horrible last year.
Some of it you can say he didn't have a number 2 receiver. He had CeeDee Lamb and nothing else.
And they're hoping that T.Y. Hilton's going to be the guy. My man hasn't been healthy in a full season.
No, they brought in Brandon Cooks, right?
Or Brandon Cook. But they got Hilton still, too, though. But Cooks also...
pretty washed. Cooks can't stay healthy, but when he's
healthy...
Once
he sees a guy in a green
Cooks
jersey with 27 and has a flashback to when he got knocked the fuck out in the Super Bowl.
Malcolm Jenkins.
We need to bring Malcolm Jenkins back.
He's already got PTSD playing against his team. Fuck that. He's a bitch. There's a reason why he's bounced around for a little bit. Dak Prescott is an overrated quarterback. There's a reason why he got drafted in the 4th round.
Yeah,
he's been in the league for what, 4 or 5 years right now?
He came in with Wentz.
Yeah.
So 4 or 5 years, he's
won
like what?
8 years.
Sure, he's won 2 playoff games.
Has he won 2? He won.
He beat.
I think he's won 3.
We won the wild card round last year.
I think he's only won 2
against the.
It's 2 or 3. It's not many.
Jalen Hurts already has as many playoff wins as he does, and a Super Bowl appearance, and an NFC Championship game win. Dak Prescott is
I'm not
over.
here to defend Dak Prescott.
I'm not
by
defending
any
it.
means.
I'm just saying that him saying he's got to throw 10 interceptions, like you've been in the league for 5 years now, and you're worried about how many picks you fucking throw. Aaron Rodgers isn't like, oh, my 5th year, I'm going to throw less than 10. He knew he was going to throw less than 10. The fact that you have to say that and not worry about playoff wins, that says a lot about your fucking starting quarterback.
Yeah, no, I mean,
and you lost your safety valve with Ezekiel Elliott. Your defense is holding on by a fucking thread.
Offensive line is too as well.
Their offense is old and
Zach
banged
Martin
up.
might be holding out.
Right.
Really?
Yeah,
Damn,
he's
that's
not
like
happy
the
with his
best right guard
contract.
in the
So,
league.
yeah.
Jesus.
That's why he's holding out. Not
Damn.
making
Had they
money.
kept Amari Cooper is like
That was
he
the
was-
most baffling
that
thing that
was
they traded
terrible.
Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
made no sense.
I mean, thank you, Jerry Jones, or whoever's making the decisions, but like, damn. that was
especially because the way that the
like-
NFC East is building out their defense is like, the Giants aren't a great team, but they made the playoffs. Washington was close to it, but their defense has been very good the last couple of years, and they just got a great secondary build up again now. The Giants have a good secondary. The Eagles, obviously, top 3, in my opinion, secondary. So you lose Amari Cooper, the most seasoned vet receiver that you have, who had been putting up almost 1,000 yards a year anyway.
Yeah. it's a
You let
great
him walk
receiver.
to the
Yeah.
Browns, and you give Dak Prescott nothing and act like, well, why can't he play? Hello?
I mean,
Yeah, and they franchise tagged Pollard, right?
yeah, they gave him a franchise
I think
tag.
that makes sense.
But people are acting like Pollard's going to be great. I mean, he's never really carried the load because Zeke was there.
That's-
And also, he got, broke his tibia or some shit. Remember that? In the game against the 49ers, his, leg bent like that.
Yeah.
I'm I'm sure he's been rehabbing and, he's going to come back healthy-ish. But I don't think he's going to be able to carry 15, 20 carries a game,
Not
5,
behind
10
a
catches.
demoralized O-line.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So I think the Cowboys, they're kind of in... Trevor, you were saying you could see them competing for the NFC East title. I think they're a wild card team at best, man. They don't be hurting.
Yeah, I mean, the way it's shaping out, I mean, I think it's the Eagles' division to lose.
I think Washington is completely, who knows what the fuck they're doing.
Sam House, their starter. right?
They got Jacoby Brissett as their backup, but then you have the Giants with the Saquon issue popping off, so they have no really...
That's the other thing.
and then you got Dallas with hoping Tony Pollard pulls out. Hopefully Dak Prescott can show up and play this year. Your O-line's kind of getting a little iffy. We're the most complete team. If anybody picked any other team, unbiased or not, to win the NFC East besides the Birds, they're smoking fucking crap. I don't see how on paper, statistically, just looking at the depth chart, how you would pick any other team. Franchise top to bottom, we have it locked down. We've only gotten better. There's no discourse. There's no people jumping ship. Everybody's in on this program right now. Where Dallas has been talking about this is our year for the last fucking
Dallas has
20 years.
Arguably, it's Ron Rivera is pretty bad, but I think Dallas has the worst coach.
And now they lost their fucking offensive coordinator.
they lost Kellen Moore.
You're gonna drop
Yeah,
that
he was
all.
Kellen Moore was good.
Mike, you want to bring this shit back to the fucking early 2000s Packers with a subpar quarterback?
He's
Go
saying-
for it.
He's saying, who needs to pass the ball? I want to run the ball 30 times a game.
Go for it.
It's it's not 2003.
You got an aging O-line. You lost your fucking mule with Elliott. Pollard's not big enough to hit the
That's
hole
what I'm
like that.
saying,
I mean, it's just whatever.
Should be interesting.
I love it. I think we're going to own this shit. We might sweep the whole NFC East, honestly.
That'd be cool.
That would make my record then 15-2 because I think I gave us a split for Dallas and Washington. But
Yeah, but the Saquon stuff is kind of crazy. I guess the thing that it gets into is I'm not surprised that the Giants did it, just because the running back position, man, especially Saquon's got an injury history. The running back position has just become so devalued, which I don't disagree with, right? But at the same time, I don't know, I kind of feel for running backs.
Yeah, you can understand why they're pissed off, from the player standpoint. They're, taking a beating and, just not getting fucking paid anymore.
It sucks.
Yeah, it's fucking lame.
I mean, you don't see old linemen bitch about their day-to-day job. They're the ones getting CTE, the unspoken CTE people. There's no way that they're taking a less beating than running backs do. And at the same time, you look at the Giants as an organization, they chose their side. I mean, they picked Daniel Jones to give him a big contract over Saquon. But Daniel Jones,
that's why he's pissed.
to his credit, has been like Eli, where,
Was Eli calling, Kadarius Toney texting him, calling him all the time.
Well, I'm just saying in the sense of like, he doesn't really get hurt. He's always there, and he every now and then can surprise you with a great game. 300 passing yards and 100 rushing yards.
I mean, Eli won a couple Super Bowls. I don't think Daniel
For sure.
Jones going to win shit.
I'm not saying in totality of careers, but in the sense of the fact that you have a stable quarterback who is not quite a Pro Bowler, but not quite, a backup.
Yeah, he's not a scrub.
He's a solid quarterback to play. Now, granted, they have really no receiving core either, so that makes it tough for him. They got
Darren Waller.
Sure, okay, as a tight end, but if that's, it's not like you gave him Jason Kelsey. You gave him Waller with no other receivers. Kelsey can hide behind his phenomenal coach and other offensive weapons, but I think that they chose a side, and running backs, Saquon hasn't really showed you his durability like that. You're not going to pay that guy $25 million a year to get hurt for 4 or 5 games a year.
Yeah.
You can't afford that in the NFL. I need you there all year round. There's a reason why guys that get paid typically don't make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, I think it makes sense to not pay a running back a lot of money, especially someone like him that's been hurt. It just, when you get into the broader conversation, it's just like, it would suck to be a running back. And I don't know. I don't think the NFL, can the Players Association do anything about this?
You got to start the shit off
Not
with the
until
draft.
the next CBA, I guess.
Right.
When is the next CBA?
I don't know.
I don't know when the NFL's next CBA is. I feel like it's a while from now.
It would only change if you know who the VP of the NFL Players Association is.
It's Troy Vincent, right?
A receiver.
Who?
Troy Vincent, or a cornerback.
Cornerback, yeah.
I'm just saying, until you have, Emmitt Smith
I could
up in
see
there.
him being pretty fair, though. He's always seemed like...
Also, Saquon, not for nothing, is making $10 million this year, and he turned down $15 million a year. So, sure, you want to complain about not getting a big contract, but not for nothing, you could have got paid. Nick Chubb never chirps a word. He's the last one that got paid. That was 2 years ago, but he's fine and still playing his ass off.
Yeah,
and doesn't get hurt.
He's probably better.
With a shitty team. I get it. People are going to be able to be mad and whatnot, and now you got the fucking Zach Martin getting all mad about being an O-lineman, underpaid, underappreciated, all this shit. But, at the end of the day, Saquon's getting paid $10 million to run a fucking football for his life. And he's missed multiple games already. Hasn't made it to the divisional round or to the fucking Super Bowl or anything like that. You're not fucking Walter Payton.
Well, he didn't make it to the divisional round last year.
Not out of it.
Yeah, he didn't make it out of it, yeah.
I'm just saying, no help to him. He did shit that game.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants didn't do shit that game. We destroyed them.
That's what I'm saying. If you had beaten the top seed in the league, you had 3 rushing touchdowns and 150 yards, cool, but you're not that guy. And you're making $10 million a year.
Well, it may suck to be a running back these days, but it doesn't suck to be a quarterback.
Nice segue. Very nice segue.
So some of you guys may know that there's this new Netflix documentary series called Quarterback that we started watching. It's follows the day-to-day through the season of 3 NFL quarterbacks: Pat Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and new backup Eagle Marcus Mariota.
Our boy.
Bird gang, baby.
So what, did you guys watch the first 3?
Yeah.
I got through 5, but 4, there wasn't really a whole lot to talk about in 4 and 5.
See, I think 4 was the most football guy
yeah,
episode. I'm kind of upset I didn't watch that.
Well, yeah,
one.
4 is good if you're just wanted for kind of football nerd stuff. Because they talk about how they actually call the plays, which was kind of interesting. But I mean, my interest in it was more just the personalities and mainly just Kirk Cousins, dude. I wish that this was just about Kirk Cousins. Honestly. I would watch.
Imagine just following him around every day.
Dude, we need a Hard Knocks, but just of Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
that's it, yeah.
Just what an amazing brain.
Just human being this guy is. I mean, very, very on brand for what I would picture a guy named Kirk Cousins that plays for the Minnesota Vikings. Like a very just the most vanilla ass dude, but in a fascinating way. I like how his son's name is Cooper. You named your son Cooper Cousins. Wild.
Come on, dude.
He's like, oh, I burnt my hole in this.
Oh, yo, I have that in my notes.
that was a funny scene.
Burned a hole in my sweatshirt. That's my favorite sweatshirt. I guess Daddy needs to get a new sweatshirt.
He said, "This is my campfire sweatshirt now." Like, what?
Yeah.
Also, before he even said, he's like, "Hey, Cooper, let's make a fire." So, there's no...
Yeah. Dude,
I like the first like 5 minutes of the first episode was he was quoting Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
It's just fucking...
And he misquoted her, too.
Really?
Yeah, so the original quote is, "If my critics saw me walking over the Thames, they would say it's because I couldn't swim." He said, "If my critics saw me walking on water, they'd say it's because I don't know how to swim." So
he was just trying to compare himself to Jesus Christ.
Jesus, that's what it was.
Right.
Yeah, honestly.
Like, dude, the one thing I love about them following Kirk Cousins is that he's a no cussing guy, which is like I feel like half the white quarterbacks in the league. I think Wentz was a no cussing guy.
Wentz definitely was.
Wentz. But yeah, I just love like
Phillip Rivers never.
Dude, I want to talk about Phillip Rivers.
He's just having another kid.
Yeah,
he's gonna be able to the whole fucking offense.
But dude, it's so it's so funny when like those type of dudes get mad and how they can't like swear.
Brian Dawkins never cursed either, though.
So they're just he's different.
But he was like cool and collected, you know. But like Kirk Cousins, he didn't really get like too heated at all. When I saw, but
he was always too hurt.
But like, yeah, you get like the dag nabbit or like golly,
gosh darn it,
gosh dang it, like that shit's so funny. And dude, that's what always fascinated me about Phillip Rivers, who like is a player that I can't stand, but I always thought it was hilarious that he's a dag nabbit guy. Because he would get heated. Like, that dude you would see him on the sidelines just screaming at people. Like, could you imagine if you're one of those teammates and there's like a guy in your face screaming and not saying any swear words? How fucking psychotic that be? He's like, guys, damn it!
What?
I need some freaking protection there.
What the heck?
Golly, God damn it! Or he didn't even say damn it. I can't even do it. I can't even fucking do it. I don't even know how that works.
Oh,
you need to be trained for years to be able to scream at people and not swear. That's that's psychotic.
Yeah,
that'd be like if someone was like if someone just came up to me in the streets and started doing that shit to me, I would just hand them my wallet and immediately be like, "Please just leave me alone.
Right.
Just take whatever you want.
I don't want to join this church."
This is the most terrifying thing I can imagine. But yeah, that part of it's very funny.
Yo, one of the things I had in my notes was Kirk Cousins when he was talking about being an extreme tenor in his high school choir. Yeah. And he goes, "Yeah, we used to come out on stage and put up an X and a T. It stood for extreme tenor." Then they show a clip of them singing. I'm like, damn, this is the whitest thing.
And that's their quarterback, baby. That's why the Vikings love him, though.
Oh, my
Minnesota's
God.
like, hell fucking yeah.
Could you imagine, man, like I said to y'all, like when I was watching the first episode, I'm glad Hurts is our quarterback, and he's just real cool.
One of the more defining clips, too, of that was watching, like, when they were playing, I guess it was Buffalo or whoever, and, like, you know, Hurts is taking big hits. Quarterbacks take hits. It's what they do. They're a quarterback. But the fact that he was like, I was just so in pain, I couldn't even talk to my teammates. Dude.
Having him mic'd up for those games where he's just getting his ass kicked.
Justin Jefferson's like, is this safety coming over the top? He's like, I can't even talk to you right now. I don't know. I'm like, if someone told me that in the fourth quarter, you know, you're down by 3 and your quarterback is just bugging out about shit, like,
I'd be mad as
that
hell.
Is pathetic.
Dude, just from those like first 3 episodes, you could probably put together like a 10-minute supercut of Kirk Cousins just going like, I
got the wind knocked out of me.
Yeah, I can't breathe. They're like, what's wrong? I was like, I'm hurt. That was everything he ever said. I'm like, damn, dude.
I will say,
but
man,
then they keep saying like he's so tough. It's like, no, he isn't. Do you hear him?
Brett Favre, Eli Manning got hit all the time. I never heard them bitch about shit. They've just went on with their life. Kirk Cousins is like, someone looked at me the wrong way and I can't breathe. I'm sure he was still on the bench going, I'm out of breath. My nephew says that he's 5 years old when he falls over. Like, I'm out of breath. I'm like, I got you. If a 34-year-old grown-ass man, a professional player, was like, I can't throw the ball more than 50 yards because I'm out of fucking breath. Come on now.
I mean, the one thing that I loved about this was just every time it kind of cut back between Mahomes and then Cousins. It was a very oh my God. It was a very Goofus and gallant sort of thing going on. Like one of my favorite parts of the whole thing was I think it was in like the 3rd episode where they're talking about how they sort of like recover and manage their physical recovery through the week to prepare for the next game or whatever. And it's like it goes through Mahomes' thing where he's like, working with this trainer, this expert personal trainer that he's been working with since he was a kid, and they're doing all this really like deep scientific sort of methods and taking all these crazy measurements and doing all this stuff. And it's like this, day one, we're doing all this stuff to kind of like get all your muscles back in shape and recover and blah, blah, blah. And then day two, we ramp it up to this and we do this and all this kind of shit. And like these very specific kind of exercises to measure where he's at with this and that. And day three, we pump it up to full speed, blah, blah, blah. And then after all that, it cuts to Kirk Cousins lying on his back, just getting his neck snapped in half by like a 70-year-old chiropractor.
Yes.
They're just like, there's some old guy in his living room just going like, that's my shit.
His whole training staff looked like they went to like some kind of weird social after church. They were like, "You fuck with backs?" The guy's like, "Yeah, I'm a chiropractor." He's like, "All right, come to my house now." It's like, what are we doing here? And then like every other soundbite was like another random person just like in a weird outfit. Like, so does this feel good? Do you feel released? And I was like, yeah, it feels great. She's like, all right, throw it like you're ready to launch the ball. And he's like,
Mahomes is doing shit with like lasers and whatever.
They got a 3 day. They're like, we got an A day, a B day, a C day. We're gonna loosen up shit, even though you could loosen up.
Mahomes has got like NASA technology
Kirk Cousins
helping him recover, and Kirk Cousins is just like in the cold pool.
He jumped in the pool, like,
and then just getting
degrees.
his back cracked.
Yeah. I saw that shit. I was like, what in the fucking church hall did you get yourself into over here? Like, what are we doing? Mahomes was like, yeah, I saw that Tom Brady's been playing the league for, he's 45 years old, never gets hurt. I got to, like, do that. He, like, paid for his guy to come back out to KC. Kirk Cousins out there with that fucking church league rehab center. There's a reason why he's hurt all the time. He's like, this is a bruise. I hurt my hand here.
It's like worked on. And then the next scene is him in a game. Just be like, oh.
It was the next game. He was like, yeah, I feel great now. The next game, he got one hit. He was like,
It's like, I don't know. People, like, I feel like there's a lot of, like, polarizing opinions about chiropractors. Some people swear by them. Some people say they're just, like, quack, like, grifters or whatever. It kind of, I've never been to a chiropractor, but it seems to me like if you like crack your knuckles and stuff, it's like you get that like
instant
temporary relief kind of, but over time it's like that's not really gonna like.
The other guy's like, we're talking internal tissue that you don't even know that you have.
No, that guy was
Kirk Cousins just like
getting
his finger, like someone's finger up his ass every day before the game. But like, yep, nope, I feel good. I'm good. I'm released now.
Oh man, I guess a couple other notes I had was. In the Buffalo game, when Cousins is trying to be all heroic and he calls a sneak on his own, he's like, yeah, I just took it on myself to call a sneak. And then he didn't get it. And then the coach is talking to him on the sideline like, dude, I was going to call a timeout. What the hell are you doing? He's like, I'm sorry, man. I thought we had it. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
They lucked out with that fucking fumble, but it's like, he's like, I had more yards to my left. He's like, if your more yardage option still didn't get you to the end zone, why would you even decide to do that shit? Damn. But there's a reason why this guy's never been able to take that team any further than it's gotten to. Like, the guy is he couldn't lead me into a bar, honestly. Yeah. I wouldn't follow that guy anywhere. And that's saying something.
If he can't lead any of us to a bar, he's got a problem.
I also loved his little, like, secret room with all of his... He had a... For those who haven't seen it, in his house, he has like a false bookshelf that has like a door that goes into a little secret room that has all his football memorabilia. And he was like, I put this all back here because I thought it might make like the living room look kind of tacky. And it's like hilarious that he's just like doesn't want to like put all his stuff in like the main part of his house. Like he needs this little hidden room to
even Kirk Cousins has a fucking man cave.
Yeah,
his wife secret man
his
cave.
His wife
closet.
doesn't let him. He already said she dresses him.
With
the first episode, he said that his wife dresses him. They were making a big deal about his shirt from somewhere. I forget. Patagonia. He was like, actually, my wife picked this shirt out. She dresses me.
Yeah. What did you guys make of it? We haven't talked about the Mariota angle. It was like...
I like Mariota.
Yeah, he seemed like a cool guy. Nothing really remarkable about that part of the
I feel like
doc. He just seems like a normal dude.
Even in the show, I feel bad for him as a quarterback in general. And now with the show, I feel bad for him even more because he has like a newfound respect for Mariota. I think that he just kind of is just a quarterback. Like he'll never be the superstar. At least like Kirk Cousins, you expect the Vikings to be good every year because they have a decent team. Whatever. Mahomes... makes sense on the show because obviously we want to get into his head because he's a phenomenal athlete.
Yeah.
Mariota's just kind of there. I think
the dynamic between the three of them, there's like a pretty stark contrast between Mahomes to Cousins.
I think that's the point of the docs. They have like one like superstar, one kind of mid guy, and one like sort of on the edge of being a starter or not.
But even like personality wise, I mean, like Mahomes is just a G, just outgoing. Probably gets it from his dad a lot. Cousins is just this corny, nerdy, just Midwest guy.
Dude.
And then Mariota's just this guy from Hawaii who's just real chill.
Everything seems too big for him. Like he seems like he's kind of just like a deer in the headlights, trying to get by, trying to make everybody happy, but can't quite,
Do you know what else I thought was really funny was the Mahomes part, how it seemed like, because there was like a few scenes where like they were showing him with like his extended family, whatever, and it seemed like they were making a conscious effort to not include his fucking stupid brother.
His brother's not in it.
I didn't see him at all.
Well, because didn't he get in trouble for something? Like
he was, molested somebody.
Yeah,
that's
dude,
it. I don't remember what it was.
I guarantee you, they probably interviewed him because like if you're just he's like a goofy
they
guy.
They edited him out.
Yeah, exactly. They probably had a bunch of scenes with him, and then it was like, we got to cut this motherfucker.
They got
out
his
of
dad slamming beers, which I love.
Yo, I wish they had interviewed his dad. Man.
Yeah.
Yo, as much as it sucked for us to lose to them in the Super Bowl, his dad was funny after the Super Bowl. He's like, "Yeah, we smoking Philly blunts tonight."
I know. It's just that I don't want to get to that point. Like once I saw,
that's gonna be painful. But his dad's a G, man.
I'm not able to watch the last episode.
I will say though, his wife is
she's insufferable. Oh,
terrible. I can't.
Woo!
I don't understand.
So annoying. Her voice just sounds like nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah, Mario's wife seems cool.
Yeah, she's just a humble girl.
Yeah. Her cousin's wife is just like a regular-ass white lady.
Just a regular-ass, Christian-ass Midwest white girl.
Yeah, whatever. Stay-at-home mom, doesn't probably do anything. Probably has a weird Etsy page. But, like, damn, fucking Mahomes' wife, I want to, like...
insufferable.
I want to shoot myself in the head every time she talks. It's so bad.
The first episode...
And between his voice and her personality, I'm not going to lie... I wish he had at least a different voice because, like, he's the one I want to hear more from. But even when he talks shit, he's like, "Come on, guys, let's go!" Like, it's just, I can't do it. It's so bad.
Yeah, the first episode when they're talking about, like, her being pregnant and I don't know where the hell they are. They're somewhere, I think, for his birthday. She's like, "Hold on, another photo op. It's like, could you imagine that, man?
No.
If you had to take a picture every 2 minutes with your pregnant wife, and it's your birthday. And
that's all she does.
Like, I'm trying to live.
And that's all she does. You're the man out here getting beat to whatever it is. Like, damn. Like you said, insufferable. She is the voice, the everything about her.
Personality.
Yelling. The cheering is annoying.
When they were showing them at the farm, which was completely unnecessary.
You got to give her a kiss before every fucking game? Damn, dude.
Yo, that farm scene. Why did we have to see Mahomes on a farm for 15 minutes?
They rented out the whole farm to shoot pumpkins at a fucking car? Come on. She did dunk on him, though, in that little milk jug thing, which was whatever. But even that pissed me off.
She was so annoying about it.
She's like, you suck. God.
It's like, bitch, you're not the greatest quarterback of our generation. Get a grip.
All because he gave her a fucking rose as a joke, and she was like, I guess he likes me now, and he fucking put himself in a death trap.
I mean, good for her, though. She got that bag, man.
Yeah, she did, for sure. And then she got 2 anchor babies.
Now she owns like a women's soccer team.
What do you think Mahomes Sr. thinks of her in real life, man?
He's probably kicking himself in the fucking dick right now. No, he's probably furious.
I don't know. He's probably like, damn, wish he married a black chick.
He's probably mad as fuck right now.
Well, it was funny. So, like, I think the last episode that I saw was 5, which is they have their son, because she's pregnant the whole time, you know?
Yeah, right, yeah.
And I was thinking, like, don't
spoil too much for us.
I'm just spoiling the fact that he had a kid.
Oh, okay.
It's a boy?
Like, it's a boy, yeah. He has a boy.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
it's Pat Mahomes III, right?
Oh, yeah, he did say
Pat
that
Mahomes
shit.
III. So, you know, he might, if you think, like, if he, follows in his father's footsteps and becomes a quarterback himself, maybe they'll be making a documentary about him someday.
Or it's vice versa, because his dad had a son who became a quarterback, but then Pat Mahomes' son becomes a baseball player then. Maybe it's like a...
But you know what the name of the documentary is going to be?
More balls.
Quarterback, quarter black.
Damn.
Oh. was pretty good.
Damn.
Do we got anything else? Oh, yo, Mariota, man, he likes McDonald's.
Big
has
time.
his cheat days on Mondays.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Hell
That's
yeah.
a good man, dude.
Mm-hmm. And also, we should all have a best friend like he does, who cooks for him and shows up to the game and isn't annoying as fuck like
Yeah,
their
his
wife.
best friend was chill.
He was like, yeah, fuck it. Like, he was all getting into the games and shit.
Oh, his friend was his chef?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You know,
yeah.
like, that guy rocks. I like that dude. He seems pretty cool. I would hang out with that guy.
Yeah. Like, they didn't show much of Mariota, at least through the first 3 episodes. I'm kind of excited to see a little bit more.
Well, you have the...
Well, it gets more dramatic. I won't spoil. I mean, this happens
We know how
during
the
the
season happens.
Yeah, like, you know what
I'm
happens.
excited
He
to
got
see what
benched
happens
or-
when he just dips.
But I feel bad for
How they
Mariota because,
handle
like, you
that.
got, like, the Super Bowl champ. You got the Vikings who were really hot all year up the Eagles' ass. And then you had, like, the Falcons who were just kind of, you know... But I think he lost his job after, week 6?
I think it was
Something
later
like-
than that.
might have been,
but
yeah. Like week 9 maybe,
Could it be
something
that
like
far out? Yeah. But,
Yo, but we beat the Vikings' ass. It was fun reliving that game.
Oh, yeah.
he was all moaning and groaning too about that too. Oh, my fucking chest hurts.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, like them
hit
talking
too
about it
hard.
the next time, and they were like, "Well, obviously the Eagles, that was a disaster." It's like, yeah, damn right it was.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
smoked y'all ass.
It
You
felt
see
great.
Darius Slay picking him off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
Well, we're pretty much up against it here. I think that should just about wrap it up.
Quarterback, man. Looking
Quarterback.
forward to watching the next few
Yeah,
episodes.
maybe
got next 3 until
maybe
next
we'll wrap
week.
up the next
Or 5.
half of it next week.
Next pod might just be an all TV movie recap.
Well, we'll be talking about the World Cup too. Women's World Cup starts
yeah,
off this
it does
week.
start
Stay tuned
tomorrow,
tomorrow.
right?
New Zealand versus Australia, and then the
Yeah.
U.S. women's team starts
We're
up on
playing
Friday at
Vietnam.
9 p.m. against Vietnam.
The classic rematch.
We play Vietnam.
Yeah, we
Oh,
play
we should
Vietnam on
smoke
Friday.
that shit. Yeah.
We got to
Yeah, we'll
avenge the
probably win
Vietnam
pretty-
War.
Nah.
Well, I mean, I think it would be the Vietnamese doing the avenging there, but
We might show up and just beat. We might show up. We're gonna show up, just beat the wrong team. That's all.
well, like I said, I think I was just about to do it. Please send us an email at citywidepod@gmail.com. Leave us a 5-star review and a rating wherever you get your podcasts. And from all of us here at the Citywide, good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Peace, y'all.
See ya.